This movie tells a story about Mindy, a young widow who allows a nightmarish monster to slowly eat her alive, in a desperate attempt to protect her 10-year-old daughter. The movie is using a humanoid monster as a form of control and a metaphor for addiction, but also just the difficulty of motherhood. Motherhood is tough, and this is conveyed through scene after scene of Mindy looking increasingly drained by her situation, as the monster abuses her physically, mentally, and emotionally. This movie has a promising premise. It fails not in its concept, but in its execution, rambling on for too long in some scenes, and then zipping too fast through others. This movie is uneven, and the pace is really slow. It doesn't lack bite, but it does lack a clarity of purpose. The middle section of the movie is poorly paced, as the movie seems only interested in the start and the end. Everything else feels tonally uncertain, which you can see reflected in some of the performances. There are certain aspects of the plot that could have been developed further. The script leaves too many unanswered questions. Most evident is the lore surrounding the monster. While we do eventually learn his name, little else is known about the creature or where he came from. Leaving some of this a mystery is completely fine, but not diving into the lore makes certain aspects of the plot a bit confusing. This is most apparent in the final moments of the film, which are quite decent, but leave many lingering and unanswered questions. There are scenes that are basically standalone encounters, which make little narrative sense. There's a sequence that turns into awkward comedy, unsure of what it's trying to say about its protagonist or her desperation. Every exchange in this movie feels unnatural, either weighted with metaphor or uncertain about its characters. It's likely this narrative inconsistency and direction to play theme instead of reality that leads to some of the wooden and awkward performances. Apart from a couple of horror veterans, almost everyone else looks lost as often as they look frightened or empowered. Exchanges like the ones between Mindy and her mother don't sound remotely genuine, which constantly breaks the spell that a film like this needs to cast to be effective. Overall, it's not worth to watch this in theaters. Just wait on your streaming service.